Welcome back to Jack of All Games Tabletop. I'm Dave Wallace, and today we're talking D&D. Today's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be just me. I'm going to have a little bit of help from some of the D&D community at large. I've reached out to a few areas, DMs and different Facebook groups to get some people that might be interested in sharing in this. This episode is going to be about handcrafted items. Now, as far as D&D goes, just obviously we know that it's huge all over the world, and a lot of that has to do with the digital aspect. Digital, people playing online nowadays. It's amazing. You can play with people from all over the world, and this works well with time constraints. You can find groups that actually fit into your time slot. And I played a few campaigns before with the online help of Roll20, and definitely enjoyed it, but there's maybe something that's a little bit missing for me. I really love the social aspect of it, maybe because it's really the only socializing I ever do is with games. But bringing people together to the table and just unplugging for a while, and I love to build stuff that kind of adds a visual dimension to the game, and I know a lot of other people do out there as well. So we're going to be talking mostly about different handcrafted items and tools, especially with DMs, but for anybody, when you things that you can bring to the table, and it just kind of gets you more involved, and it just kind of gets those creative juices flowing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just a few things of my own from my own collection, and then I'm going to get into a handful of people who have shared items of their own for you to check out. So this is going to be cool, and hopefully this goes well, and maybe as you watch this, you might want to send in some things that you've done and really blow our minds, and I'd love to share it on here. So anyway, so let's get into it. This is going to show you some things that I have done personally. So if you've watched any of my other episodes before, especially when I talk about D&D, or if I've talked about the 3D printing video, you know that I like to make miniatures, and printing them out and painting them up and adding them into my D&D game kind of just really helps my players to really visualize what it is that they're up against. Of course, this isn't necessary. If you really want to play D&D, you can do it with the handbook and dice and paper and pencil. But it just adds a whole new element, helping them visualize. And so as a result, while miniatures are very helpful, and you can do this, put them on simple paper and mark out territories, but I do really enjoy making some terrain. Sometimes it's really quick slap together. I find a few pieces of styrofoam and make something interesting out of them. Sometimes I get a little bit into it more. Let me show you this piece here. So this is just a piece of styrofoam that just happened to have this trench, and I had an idea for a run through a sewer. Players were trying to escape the city, and so as you can see, I just kind of painted it up with some simple gray and added some dirt and mud and other dark materials in there, and some green slime and whatever else. So just something fun. And with the size of this, you can see, they really have to, if I put the miniature in there, it's a close quarters battle, so they had to kind of figure out how to fight past each other, as far as ranged attacks, and not hurt each other. So it was kind of fun piece to use. This is another one that again, this was just a piece of styrofoam. It came, I don't even know what was in it. It might have been, I don't know. The walls on here were basically just some foam board, and I just kind of cut them, and you can see it's far from perfect. You can see the edges on those doorways. It's not a perfect match. You don't have to spend tons of time. I did spend some time, as you can tell, not only from the floorboards there, but in the pictures you can see I even made some little portraits there. This was supposed to be a crime lord's hideout. So this was actually was the head of the Thieves Guild ran their office out of here. And so you can see in there, there's like a statue, what this was here, and there was some paintings on the wall, and a desk to work behind. But then also I had this sort of glowing wall that I put in there, which I just painted to look like that doorway there, so that way it was kind of the safe for them to hide behind. Anyway, just coming up with goofy stuff like that when I look at some styrofoam and go, hey, what could I make out of that? Of course, any good D&D game, you got to put some maps in there. I still map them out on paper, but a lot of times I will do them digitally using inkarnate.com. However, I will show you this. If you've seen some of my videos, you've seen the world that I made up. Well, let me see if I can get this without too much glare here. But yeah, this is a map that I did a while back, and it's framed so that it can hang on the wall so that my players can look at it and I can explain where they're at, where they're going. However, I have, of course, updated this digitally, and if you haven't seen it, this is Valencia. This is the world that I created. And then if you go onto my World Anvil page, from there you can click onto all the little different towns and cities, and I made incarnate maps for all of them as well. I mean, here's a couple of them. So yeah, always giving the players something to look at. So yeah, maps definitely are fun to do. And that one of the whole world on paper, I mean, definitely spend a lot of time. You don't have to spend that kind of time though. I mean, you can make a little quick map easily, of course, and I think most DMs do that. You'll see maybe a couple coming up here, but yeah, so maps definitely a big part. This is another goofy little thing I had made before, but another thing I made out of styrofoam was this initiative tracker. And what I did was I wrote players' names down on it, and I would, put them on the desk. Basically, this was just really for me. I kind of wanted to make it look like some kind of stone look or something, but and I put these little red dots here, so that way when a player went, I could just push it over and keep track of who went in what order. And then when I got to the end, I just pulled them all out a little bit, so these little popsicle sticks, I just wrote their names on, hit points and their AC and everything. So another fun one is, of course, dice towers. And this is my first dice tower I made. And you can kind of see there this little castle. Let's see, I don't know if the light will come on. And there's a little light in there. But yeah, so, I made this. This was actually I think it was like a Clorox wipes container that I then, I just really, these blocks, or this is just foam that I cut into all kinds of odd shapes and then just try to find ways to fit them together. So it wouldn't just be regular rows, but yeah, I mean, really just cutting shapes out of foam and, gluing. These, I believe, were from Reaper's Realm, the little fence pieces here. But yeah, I mean, carved a little stairway for the dice to roll down. This popsicle sticks on the top there. So I was really happy with this. I put a little battery pack on the back there. So it's not amazing, but it's just a little dice tower. It's just for fun, so no big deal. And actually, this is another little dice tower I made. Originally, this is an explosion. This is a TIE fighter, actually, a Star Wars TIE fighter. An explosion. Unfortunately, the batteries that go in this little, you can see I put a little T light in the bottom there, but the batteries are a weird size, and so unfortunately I can't show you how the explosion lights up. It looks really cool though. And then the dice tower cap comes off to roll the dice down there. So yeah, I mean, this was just foam, just a little bit of foam board and some rocks and dirt and stuff like that. Turned out pretty cool. But yeah, so that's kind of some fun stuff that I've enjoyed making over time. But yeah, anyway, those are just a few examples of some things. Like I said, a lot of these things, I mean, some stuff I actually probably spent a decent amount of time on this castle here. But yeah, a lot of times, there's a reason why I spent the time to make this and then don't end up using it that much, because there's really not a whole lot of room to grab the dice out of here. It's just kind of a pain in the ass that I realized after I made it. But that's all right. That's just part of the process. And this could be used as terrain. I mean, it definitely is the right size. Let me grab a mini here. Yeah. definitely the right size for minis to be walking in the graveyard there. Might have to do that. Yeah, anyways, a lot of times the terrain that I'll make for a game, it's only going to be used for that one, 3-4 hour session, so I may not necessarily put a ton of work. Sometimes I'll just slap some foam board or some styrofoam together just as a, give them an idea of the setting. Anyway, these are a few of the things that I've enjoyed making, but like I said, I wanted to get some other people involved here. I wanted to see what some other creators and DMs and stuff would like to make. So let's take a look at some of those things now. So here's some examples of some terrain built by Luis Vizcarrondo from Largo, Florida. And you can see he's got just some cool looking stuff. I mean, this is some definitely ambitious creations for his D&D games. So yeah, very awesome material there. Thank you, Luis. Sorry, seeing names typed out, it's hard to know exactly. So if I mess up anyone's name, I apologize. But yeah, this is just some really cool stuff. And looking through, I only picked a couple to show, but yeah, just tons of great terrain that can be built out there. Since I showed you some of my maps that were digitally made, I got some more to show you from another person that sent some in to me. This is John Roy Abseed's work. John has a Kickstarter campaign happening for his 5e game that's called Ascent of the Nimipil. So yeah, if you go on Kickstarter and check that out, and he did include a couple of his maps. So yeah, check these out. Very nice look there. So, and these are not gridded at the moment. I don't know if those are going to be in the book itself, or yeah, I don't know. Check it out though. Anyway, again, check out Ascent of the Nimipil. Then I got a little something from across the pond. Victoria Johnston from London, UK, shared some beautiful handcrafted items of hers. Let's take a look at this. Now this is a beautiful scroll. You got some blood spill on it, and it opens up to this multi-layered, bejeweled, incredible looking map. It's really cool, and that's just really exciting to be able to hand to your players and see the look on their face. And this is actually, there's another map here that this is another one that rolls up into a scroll. So yeah, that's really cool. I might have to steal that idea sometime, actually. She's also got these cool little timeout chairs for dice. Now you might have seen, people who are superstitious about how their game is going. If their dice are rolling badly, they'll want to put them in a dice jail or something. So yeah, she makes these cool little dice dunce chairs, timeout chairs. So, and then here is a look at her DM screen. That's all handmade. This is a dice bag that she made, and that's all, cool little patchwork thing that she makes for people. And she's also experimented with bookbinding, and this is a merchant's order book that she made, where it's kind of connected to her player's wallet, basically. So it's a pretty cool idea. She obviously somebody who is extremely crafty and always coming up with new ideas. That's really cool to see. That kind of stuff can be rather inspiring. So yeah, very nice, Victoria. Thank you very much for sharing that. And of course, who wouldn't love some character art? It's awesome to see when somebody actually takes the time to do a nice painting or drawing or digital artwork for characters. And a lot of people really like to have that custom-made art for their characters. And so that's where Kate Luna comes in. Kate has a company on Facebook called Digital Design Lab. At least that's one of the areas that you can get a hold of her. So let's take a look at some of hers. These are, you'll see like examples of the line art, and then you'll see the full color version. Yeah, just some beautiful stuff here. Really cool. Yeah, to have your own personalized artwork of your character just the way you imagine them. And so she is actually available for commission. So if you check out the Digital Design Lab on Facebook page, and you can hire Kate to do some artwork for you. So look into that. And I'm just going to show you a couple more pieces from a friend of mine. This is Christopher Bohr. Christopher lives in Florida, pretty much the same area as me. And I've tattooed him. We're friends. Somehow we've yet to get together to do any gaming. I don't know why that is. You know, it's adult schedules. I guess they suck. But anyway, check out Christopher's work. Christopher, he does some amazing maps here, and these are, you know, some of these are digital maps, but they start off, as you can see here, drawn, you know, by hand. You get the letter down, you get the idea down, and so some great map work that he's done here. Now he also gets really into being a DM and creating things for his players. So you can see, like, this is like a burned letter that, you know, he handed to one of his players. And of course, you know, he's even jumped in on painting some minis too. So, you know, really cool stuff. It's great to see DMs and just players getting into creating things to make their gaming experience more interesting, more creative. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys, and also looking into maybe doing more episodes of this if you guys like this kind of stuff, and if you want to share the things you've created, I would love to spread it for you. So yeah, just going to be something fun today. Like I said, a little bit more community based. So if you've got any things that you have crafted for your game, things that you've handmade, things that you've made on a computer, but you know, things that you used your creativity to enhance your D&D game, I would really love to see it. So by all means, please send them in, let me check them out, and I will be happy to share them. Thank you very much. And next week I'm going to a con, so I guess I'll be putting up some footage from QuestCon. But yeah, anyway, thanks for stopping by, and see you next time. Hey gamers, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. It's one of the things I know that I can count on with the gaming community at large. This is of course to the point where I gotta ask you to like it, hit that subscribe button, and maybe share this with a friend. If you are a game designer, or maybe starting your own gaming company, and you want to do a little bit of cross promotion, maybe you got a prototype that you want me to check out and talk about on the show, definitely let me know. And of course, for all questions, suggestions, and corrections, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of me. Probably the easiest one is just comment below. You can also send me an email at jackofallgamestt@gmail.com. The T stands for tabletop. And if you'd like to take a look at my commissioned miniature paint jobs, or even some of the other stuff in my life like photography or tattooing, which is what I do for my day job, go check it out on Instagram at Art of Wallace. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.